welcome back to Ghouls Night In, the spooky chat show with your best ghoul friends. I'm Penny Snark,
And I'm Midge Munster.
and today we're gonna talk about some decorations,
Ooh.
because like one does, I always want to try and brag about my good Halloween finds, and that usually goes fine on Instagram, but sometimes when I try to talk to, my family, real life people, they do not know what I'm talking about. And I was trying to tell my family how excited I was about the ghost blow mold that I got at Michael's.
Oh,
And they were
yeah.
like, "What's that? What are you talking about?" So apparently, that's not a term that everybody knows. So today we're going to talk about blow molds.
Oh, fun.
Their history, and how they became part of Halloween decor.
I almost bought that blow mold the other day, and I'm still thinking about it. So
You should. He's
I
really cute.
definitely know what you're talking about.
He's very cute. That was actually the only thing that I bought. I was like, the rest of this, I will like come back and see when there's, like a good deal. There are a few things that I've, got my eye on, but I was like, I gotta have this one right now.
Yeah, he's so cute.
He is so cute. So, if you do not know what I mean when I say blow mold, you still have probably seen one. You just don't know that's what they're called in the industry. So, these are hollow plastic figurines. They are often illuminated inside. They are most commonly seen as Christmas decorations, but they are certainly not limited to Christmas, and haven't been throughout their history. So, let's dive into it. Blow molds get their name from the process used to make them, which is blow molding. So the
Aptly
way
named.
aptly named. So the way that it works is, so you have like you have a mold of a pumpkin or a Santa Claus and whatever, and it has a hole in the bottom, and then you have a tube of plastic, and you warm up the plastic so that it's flexible. Put the tube of plastic in through that bottom hole, and then you blow compressed air into the tube until it expands to then fit the mold. And then you can remove the mold and it cools down, and there you go. You have a little hollow molded plastic guy.
That's why all
So
your
this
blow molds
was,
have that tiny little hole in the bottom.
they do, they do. And they often have like a little seam from where the
Mm-hmm.
mold separates. So this process was inspired by glass blowing. So a lot of glass objects were also made this way. And the first commercial blow molding machine was created by, we've got, well, I'll say we've got one good name and one like fine name. So the fine name, we've got William Kapitke, and then we've got Enoch Ferngren, who sounds like
Ooh.
a D&D character. So
Also, Enoch is the yeah,
yes.
Halloween
Yes, over the
spirit.
garden wall. Yes, I was just thinking about that.
Very appropriate.
Hmm. So they invented this blow molding machine in 1938. And so there were some plastic products kind of created this way through the 40s, but it didn't really fully take off until later. And fun fact, this is actually how plastic soda bottles are made.
Oh, I did not know that. That's cool.
Yes, so that is the method by which they are made, and apparently there was they started in Germany in like 1939, so like immediately after making these plastic soda bottles, but the U.S. did not start doing plastic soda bottles until 1977.
Oh, wow.
There was like a little, because I was like, oh, I'm interested in this, and apparently it was like they went from zero to like so many millions like instantly when they switched
They
over,
said
because
plastic. Yeah.
yep, because we Americans do like our soda, I say, with a plastic bottle of
I was
Mountain
gonna say, are
Dew
you
right
holding Mountain
here
Dew
in
right
easy
now? Yeah.
reach. Yes, ma'am. So like I said, the blow molding technology didn't take off like right away, but the first like majorly popular blow mold decoration actually wasn't tied to a holiday at all. Can you guess what this was, Midge?
What's the year we're looking at?
That was, I said, hint, it was created in 1957.
57. Okay. Is it like a poodle or something? Like a dog?
Oh, close. It's the pink lawn
Oh,
flamingo.
the flamingo. Oh my
The
gosh,
pink
of course.
flamingo. Yes. So the pink flamingo was designed by Don Featherstone as his second project after graduating from art school,
Oh,
which is
wow.
wild. So like he graduated from art school, he got this job at Union Products, which made like some plastic lawn decorations. And this he designed a duck first, and then he designed the iconic pink flamingo.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Yeah, I guess those are blow molded. I never
they
like thought
are,
about
yep.
it like that, but
I know, me
that's
neither.
funny.
When I was like reading through it, I was like, the pink flamingo. I was like, what? I guess you're right. Those are a little blow molded
You
plastic
put
guy on
something
some
on a
sticks.
stand and suddenly I forget that it's plastic blow mold. Yeah.
Right. So that's definitely, I would say, the most widely purchased and most famous blow mold decoration in the world. Don continued to design blow molds for Union Products and actually eventually bought the company. So a
Nice.
lot of his designs are still super widely collectible to this day. Blow molds got super popular in the 50s through the 70s. They started to lose some prominence, like once we got into the 80s and 90s, and a lot of the American manufacturers of them shut down in kind of the 90s, 2000s era. But there is a big resurgence in their popularity today. So there's
Hmm.
certainly a lot of interest in vintage blow molds. And as Midge and I mentioned, starting off the episode, there are also a lot of modern reproductions of kind of classic designs, as well as some new ones that are coming out. Some molds are made with colored plastic, but the majority of them are painted after the plastic is molded. And definitely, if they have like additional, like it may be like a base of like orange plastic, but with like black painted on. So when you see vintage ones, you'll often see that the paint is kind of flaking or fading, and you want to be really careful when you're cleaning those not to further damage the paint.
Does your
And
family have any vintage blow molds? Well, they don't know what a blow mold is, apparently, so maybe not.
well, hilariously, we do,
They just
which
didn't know
is
the word for
we
it.
just didn't know that, which is why it was so easy. So we have like a 5 foot tall Santa Claus.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
blow mold who always was out on the front porch during the holiday season. I'm not sure if he's like vintage or if he's just like from the 80s, but when they
Sure.
were like, what's a blow mold, I was like, it's like Santa, and they were like, oh. What about you, Midge? Do you have any blow molds in your life?
We do, yeah. We had the classic jack-o'-lantern one that
Nice.
everyone, had. And I think that's probably, again, I think ours is probably like a 90s
Hmm.
repro of the classic. But we
Classic.
always had that one, and then we have like a Frosty the Snowman
Oh,
also in
nice.
his little like blue jacket. But that's when you were saying they're like painted on. I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, because our Frosty, my dad has had to do several rounds of paint repair on Frosty
Yeah.
over the years because his blue jacket has started to flake and his little carrot nose has seen better days.
Yeah, I always remember not to get more Christmas in here, but like seeing the like blow mold like nativity scenes
Oh yeah.
around, and I
Yeah.
was always just kind of like, this is wild. You've just got to light up Mary right out there in your yard.
Fun fact, shout out to my friend Anne, who we've talked about on the pod before, who does the Victorian hair art.
Hmm.
She also has like a Catholic bathroom,
Oh
like
yeah.
with full of just like religious iconography. And she found a a Mary from a Blomo Mary from a nativity scene that she has purchased and just has a light up Mary in her
Excellent.
house. It's like
Just hanging
surprise
out.
possession.
Love that. So as we've kind of said, Christmas blow molds were definitely like the most popular and are like most collectible today, but Halloween was definitely a close second. There are a lot of Halloween blow molds out there. And while I was researching this, I discovered a website which is called Blow Molded. It is blowmolded.com, and it is basically an encyclopedia of like pretty much any blow mold that's
Oh,
ever
that's
been made,
cool.
which is very nifty, very useful to, kind of look through if you are trying to identify one or if you're trying to find specific ones. So, like, you can search by company or the producer, and then you can also go through the categories. So, I thought we'd just break it down through some of their Halloween blow mold subcategories.
That was me
Um,
breaking it down.
yes. First up, we've got animals. This is mostly black cats and owls.
Yeah.
Surprisingly few bats. I would have expected more bats.
There's really, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a bat blow mold. I would love one.
Yeah,
Get
there
on
have
that,
been a few that
Empire. Or
existed, that have been documented on blow molded, but they're definitely the minority. And I did not see, I don't think I saw like any spider ones, um,
no.
but I guess those are the creatures that make a lot of sense. The next category was candles,
Yeah, lots of
self-explanatory.
candles. I really do like the little like Noel candles and stuff. I always think those are
hmm
really like cozy looking.
Yes, and there are Halloween ones that are they have some that I saw that are similar to I remember I think you bought these at Traditions, the like sculpted ones with the face.
Oh yeah.
There
Yeah.
are some like full size like blow mold versions
Oh, I've never seen
that are
those.
like
That's
that,
cool.
which are pretty cool. The next, so we'll get to it. The next category was candy. There were two candy corns. I don't know if this deserved a category, but that's okay.
They didn't
Um,
fit anywhere else.
well, I have some commentary coming
Oh,
up.
oh no.
Um,
Okay.
we've got cauldrons, huge variety of cauldrons, which makes sense because you see those all the time. And this also, so it doesn't just include like illuminated like blow molds on here.
Yeah.
So it
That's, I guess,
includes
all those
just
like
yeah,
plastic cauldrons from when
hmm
we were kids were probably blow mold plastic, like the ones that had the lip over them.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I have one from Target from like 2 years ago that I think is probably blow molded, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Uh,
Oh, I just had a realization, but I feel like you're probably gonna get to it, so I'm gonna wait.
ooh, oh, okay.
I'll put a pin in that, and if you
All
don't get
right.
to it, we'll come back.
Sounds good. The next category was characters. You've got a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas, pretty good amount of Disney, like a lot of like Mickey Pumpkins and things like
Mhm.
that. Or like I don't know if they're from the '90s or if they seemed like things I would see recently, but like Ghost Mickey and Minnie blow molds. I think those
Oh,
are
uh-huh.
fairly recent. Also, a weird amount of Winnie the Pooh characters, like on jack o' lanterns, and I was like, this seems like an odd choice, but
I guess, like, the 100 Acre Wood was kind of very, like, autumnal a lot of the time, so maybe
yeah,
people associate that with, like, fall? I don't know.
makes sense. The next category was devils, and again, there were like three of those, so not a super popular option.
I don't know if I've ever seen a devil blow mold. Is it the full body or
No,
just a head?
I think they were all heads.
Oh, I'm gonna be you've opened up a can of worms. I'm gonna be on this site later being like making a
Yes,
wish list
right.
of
You
vintage
will.
blow
Yeah, I
molds.
was gonna say, so I not so this is not there's also Moldorama where they
Mm,
have like a little like machine that blows, and I have a devil head Moldorama.
yeah, I've got a creature that was made that way, and then
Ooh.
what else? I've got like a little I think it is a little devil head from the like New
Yes.
Orleans area of like Universal Studios.
Yeah, we have a bunch of Moldorama machines at the Milwaukee Zoo.
Oh, fun.
So you can collect a lot of those, and like they obviously have, regular animals during most of the time. But then in autumnal times they'll switch in some
Ooh, some ookie
spooky
spooky
runs.
animals. Fun.
Um, Next category was discs. So there was
Discs?
yeah, so there was like one manufacturer, Bud JRZ Solutions, just made like a line of like like discs that have like a Halloween graphic on them that are on a
Okay.
base, and I was like, all right.
Are they
Um,
three-dimensional or are they just flat?
I mean, they're three. The disc is 3 dimension, like it's like a thick coin.
Does it, like, hang on a wall?
They had like a little like black base on
Okay.
them, so it just like sat on it. It was like a tabletop, or there were like two that were on like lamppost kind of poles. I
Okay.
was not impressed with the discs.
Discs. Interesting.
Right, and in a callback to the true icon, we have the flamingo category,
Whoop,
where you've
whoop.
got the skelemingo and the spooky mingos.
Scalamingos.
Love those guys. We had gargoyles, which also was not a big category, but seems like it makes a lot of sense. Like that
Yeah.
is a kind of good option for a blow moldy decor kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had ghosts, of course, an extremely popular category.
Yes.
Lots and lots of ghosts. Also, like mostly ghosts with pumpkins, I think.
Yeah, a lot of ghosts with like pumpkin, ghosts with skull, ghosts with black cat, ghost with
Yep, yep. And I guess it makes sense because a ghost by itself is kind of boring, so it helps to
like an
like add
amorphous
a little
blob.
little colorful something on there, and not just be like, I made this big white blob.
Yeah.
This was another category that didn't have very many, but was very cool. Was haunted houses. And so
Oh,
they were just like little, like how you imagine. I mean, I guess I can't say little. I do not know what the size of these things are. But like how you would get like a tabletop haunted house, but it was all just like a plastic
I do
one.
actually. I am familiar with one um that it was orange and it like had black painted
Yeah. Yep.
details and it's really cool. I mean, it's very hyper detailed. And that I now that I am thinking about it, I have seen that one once before. Yeah, they're probably like I don't know. I'm doing like you can see my hands are like yay big. No,
Right. I
yeah,
know.
they're probably like
I did my hands too when I was saying
yeah,
that.
but no, they're yeah
Uh,
tabletop. They're small,
yeah.
but they're really cool.
Yes. The next category was lamps, and I know you and I both have a light up pumpkin on a lamppost
Yes,
from
from
Target.
Target.
That was the primary. Lamps were pretty much all light up pumpkins on top of things. Uh,
Yes.
so there you go. And then here is where I have a bone to pick with blow molded. We
Okay.
come to the miscellaneous category.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is just like my nerdy side or if it's my neurodivergent side, but I like putting things in categories. And this
Mhm.
miscellaneous category is giving me hives because I do not understand why things are in this category and why other things have their own categories.
I also feel like
So
we haven't talked about like jack-o'-lanterns or pumpkins at all. Are
those are
they
still
in the
coming. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, are those
We're
in miscellaneous?
Sorry, I'm going in alphabetical order.
Je
So
comprends.
we've
Okay.
hit M for miscellaneous.
Okay, okay.
But so like I understand that they probably I think they made categories for the Christmas section and then kept
Mm,
some of them. So like that's why like candy has its own category. But in
okay.
here, there are multiple horror items. There are multiple types of aliens, like signs that are just like things with text. There's a bunch of creepy eyes. The sandworm is in here, which I would argue should be in characters.
Yeah.
And I just, in general, feel like it's weird that like discs gets its own category when it should probably just be here in miscellaneous, and some of these other ones should go elsewhere.
You should write a strongly worded letter to them.
Strongly worded letter. It's like I've got some feedback for you.
Listen, the user experience is not crime.
I was just going to say it's probably also just that like literally a big part of my job is trying to like sort things into groupings that people will
Right.
easily understand, and I'm like, no, this doesn't make sense. Why is all of this in miscellaneous? Um, this next category is monsters, and it's literally only Frankenstein's.
Oh.
And I'm like, there are a bunch of things like I would have put like the aliens and like there's like creepy
There's like
zombie heads in miscellaneous. That should all go into monsters, in my
yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. I would be inclined to agree.
Thank you for your support, Mitch.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Next up we have pumpkins.
There they are.
So unsurprisingly, this is where it's at. This is what the people want. It's just pumpkins all the way down. I do have to give a shout out. So like 90% of these blow molds are just like descriptively what they are. So it's just like pumpkin, scarecrow pumpkin, grumpy pumpkin. But
Sure.
we do have in the pumpkin section Mr. Toot Toot, the pumpkin with the noisemaker nose,
Not
who is
Mr.
from the
Tutu.
60s. Mr. Toot Toot.
Also, what I call my husband.
I'm just like, how does this noise, like, is it just from like the wind blowing on it? Because otherwise, like, the noisemakers inside.
You have to blow into the pumpkin's
Right? I
nose.
was like, "How do I do this?" Because I guess I was picturing, like, a kazoo or something, and I'm like, "But you
Sure.
have to blow into one end of the kazoo, and how do you do that when it's part of a mold?" I was not able to find additional information about Mr. Toot-Toot.
Disappointing.
Disappointing.
Giving this podcast 0 stars.
If anyone out there is a Toot-Toot head, like, please let me know. Give
Tell
me
us
the
about your toot
details.
toot.
Give me the details on Mr. Toot-Toot.
We need a t-shirt that says "Ask me about Mr. Toot Toot."
Yes. Ugh. The next category was scarecrows. A lot of these were also, in fact, pumpkins. So, what makes it? What? Why aren't they just in the pumpkin category? I
Do they
couldn't
have a
tell you.
hat?
They did have hats, so they were
Yeah,
like scarecrows with
pumpkins with
pumpkin
hat.
faces. But
Yeah, okay.
I guess. Then we've got skulls and skeletons, which is self-explanatory.
Sure.
Does what it says on the tin. Um, then we had sticks and maracas. So there were like a couple of noisemakers, but also apparently in the 1960s, it was just a thing to put just like a ball shaped Halloween thing on the end of a stick, just
Work.
because
Well,
these were all labeled spook sticks.
yeah. I mean, Halloween noisemakers, even in like the 20s and 30s, were like a big thing.
Yeah.
It was like that making noise on Halloween was like a deal. So that doesn't completely surprise me.
No, yeah, we love to make noise on Halloween.
We do, that's true. My favorite activity this time of year.
We've got tombstones, also self-explanatory. Not a lot of tombstones. I think that like
Mm,
foam tombstones are definitely more the vibe.
but there is one that is my holy
Ooh,
grail item. There the
please
I don't
describe it for us,
I'm not
Midge.
sure if I'm assuming it would fall into the tombstone category. It is a tombstone blow mold um that says trick or treat, and it has like a bat in the corner, and it has what looks to be like John Zachary, like it's like a ghoul face with
Hmm.
hands like wrapping around the top corner of it. uh I really like that tombstone, and it's hard to come by, and then when you do come by it, it's frequently either all the paint is gone off of it,
Hmm.
or a lot of people have tried to repaint it really badly. Is what
Oh,
I've seen it on my Facebook Marketplace a couple times, and people like have just botched it beyond where I could
it's
possibly
it,
fix it.
it's like that smudge Jesus
Literally, yeah.
vibe.
Yes. Yeah.
How
So
could you
that's
do this to Zachary?
how could you do this to Zachary? Yeah, so if I ever come across that one, that's end game is the tombstone blow mold.
Yes. Oh man. The not very exciting category of totems, which I would call stacks. We're not gonna go there with that, but that's also a small category of just stacked up things.
Stacked up
Um,
things.
vampires, not a whole lot of these, which
No, but the ones that there are
very
very
cool.
cool.
Yes.
There's another holy grail that actually someone came by, one of my friends that sells online came by the like Dracula one
Ah,
recently,
so
and
good.
she had it up for sale, and I was like, "Do I spend my life savings on this? Maybe,
Maybe.
maybe."
Maybe. We have witches, which is also a small category, but an enticing one. And
Mhm.
I actually just ordered a repro witch blow mold
Oh,
on a little bit of an impulse buy on Instagram.
I
Uh,
love that.
just
Who
I was
who what company remade it?
I'm not sure. It was from Amazon. I don't know who. I didn't. I It was such an impulse. I was literally lying in bed, and uh, Modern June Cleaver posted it in her
Oh,
story, and it's
amazing.
like a little orange witch wearing a black mask.
How
And she was
cute.
like, "Just bought this. Here's the link." And I was like, "Well,
Say
fuck, I'm
less. Yeah.
buying that. I'm buying that right now." So
That's
I'm looking
cute.
forward to that. And then finally, there were wreaths, which I think is also a leftover kind of from the Christmas section because there were like three of these also
Sure.
not really deserving of its own category, but that's okay. You're doing your best, blow molded. I just have a few minor suggestions.
I just have a bone or two to pick with you.
Just a bone or two to pick with you. Oh, well, I feel like we talked about a bunch of blow molds that we have, admire, yearn for. Are there any other blow molds that kind of come to mind for you, or have you kind of covered all the ones that you're into?
I mean, I really, really do love the very old school ones, like some of the originals in the orange
Yeah.
plastic, which I mean, I think we've all probably seen, Michaels and even Walmart the last couple of years have done reproductions of those that I think are
Mhm.
fairly successful. Like they're
Yeah, agreed.
certainly, yeah, I mean, they're not the real deal, but they look pretty darn close. I also got a really cute blow mold from, again, I think it was Walmart 2 years ago. It's a spooky tree, and
Ooh.
he has like a scary kind of creepy face, and then the light inside is like a flame light.
Oh, I'm into
Um,
that.
yeah, he's really, really cool. Um, I'm a I'm a connoisseur, a collector of all things
Yes.
blow mold. If I find anything that looks blow mold-esque, I'm probably gonna buy it unless the sculpt is super weird.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm trying to think if there's any others that are in my must-haves. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna return to my thing though,
Oh, yeah.
because you did not hit it, but I'm realizing treat pails are probably all blow molded.
Yes, they
Like the
are
like the
mostly, yep.
pumpkins.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I 'cause
Yes,
I'm like,
I
"Oh, yeah, they all have that little, kind of flat lip around the top from the mold." Like,
yes, that is a good call out because in fact they do have treat pails on blow molded, but they were listed separately from Halloween decorations. They have like a
oh,
separate treat pail category. So you can go and browse a selection of them if you would like to
because
look.
I think you know this, I've had just excellent luck on Facebook Marketplace the last, like, 8
You
months.
really have. You've been
I've
on
been
fire on
I've been
Facebook
finding the
Marketplace.
wildest stuff. But I bought some vintage treat pails, and one of them was one I had never seen before. It's technically labeled as a Frankenstein one, but it looks
Mhm.
very much like Lurch from the Addams Family.
Yeah.
And he's definitely blow molded, and I mean they all are, but that one you can like
Yeah.
tell, and he looks old. It's so cool, and that I think I really like ghoul face things,
Yeah, you
like
do.
monster faces and stuff. So anything in that range would be something I'm very interested in purchasing.
Yes. Yeah, I actually do not own any vintage blow molds and
Oh,
I am
really? Okay.
hoping to start collecting some. Well, so the issue for me has always been like they're just big. And when I,
Sure. You
was
had
in just
apartment
a
life.
one bedroom apartment, I was like there's where would I put any of these?
Absolutely.
Um so I'm excited to hopefully start buying some now that I have more space. I really love like the pumpkins that have like trick and treat in their mouth.
Oh, yes.
I would
Yeah.
really love to own some of those, as well as just like collecting some now. Because one of the things I love about blow molds is they're super light, so
Right.
like they're really easy to like move around and place places, but you just have to have like room to put them somewhere because they do not like compress or anything. You can't like deflate them for
Right.
storage. Um, but I am really excited. Like, I mean, I know that obviously, like, a lot of collectors, are very strict about which molds they're into and what eras. But I'm glad that we're seeing a resurgence of these at a variety of price points because it's a really good way to
Mhm.
kind of get that nostalgic vibe. And I did want to shout out if you are a blow mold fan or if you didn't know you were, but after we've been talking about this, you're like, man, I want to see some of those. Definitely check out Halloween Homemaker on
Yes,
Instagram.
Marsh
Marsh
has
has an
so much.
amazing, amazing collection of blow molds and actually has been selling a few of them. So
Oh,
if
have
you
they? I had
they
no
have
I've
so
missed
if
that.
you are looking, I know I need to poke on in there. I think they paused on it, but they had a few that they were selling. But
Mm.
just brings life to them in really exciting ways. Like they make such cool like vignettes and really like
Mhm.
recreate them. So highly recommend checking them out, giving them a follow. Another awesome Halloween creator.
Yes. If you, got Miranda's Spooky Little Halloween magazine, there was a feature on Marsh and how they use.
Oh.
Um, Marsh is really excellent at uh, shifting their decor throughout the seasons, like
Yes.
making their Halloween decor into other times of year decor. And I love, they'll like do really cute stuff with their jack-o'-lanterns where they'll put like flowers over the eyes in the spring or like different
Mhm.
things with their blow molds, and it's always so cute. I really
Yes.
admire the way they make their decor versatile.
That's awesome. Oh, and that is a good plug. I just got my copy of the magazine in the mail, so I
I
haven't
did
had a chance to
too.
read it yet. But if you guys out there are interested, Spooky Little Halloween has released her third annual Halloween magazine, and you'll even see an ad for your favorite podcast
Yeah, you might see
in
some
it.
ghouls in
If
there.
you pick it up, you can see some blow molds, you can see some ghouls, all sorts of good stuff. Highly recommend. And yeah, that was my little look into the world of Halloween blow molds. I hope that maybe you learned something. Maybe you just enjoyed my frustration at categorization systems. Whatever floats your boat. We're happy
Whatever.
you're here. Um, if you did enjoy listening to the podcast, it would mean so much to us if you would take the time to leave us a review. And I believe Midge has a review to share with us.
I do. This is a 5-star review from, I hope I'm going to say this correctly, Shamari Morea. My fave spooky pod in all caps with a
Mm,
cute little microphone and jack-o'-lantern. It looks like the jack-o'-lantern's talking into the microphone emoji. I really like
excellent.
that.
That's us.
I love that these ghouls teach me new things and make me roll around and laugh by listening to this podcast. There's never a dull moment, and they keep you engaged in the topics. And I was never a podcast kind of ghoul. Love this so much. Stay spooky always. Ghost emoji, spider emoji, orange heart.
Oh, thank you, Ghoul.
I love when we can convert non-pod people into pod people.
Yes. Welcome to the dark side.
Welcome, foolish mortals.
All right, friends. If you would like to follow along with the pod and see what we're up to, you can find us over on Instagram at Ghouls Night in Pod. And if you are looking for me, you can find me across the internet at Penny Snark.
And you can find me across the web at Midge Munster.
And until next time,
Good.
good.